Before I do anything else, I'm going to clean up some of the sharp edges on the block and get rid of any casting flash, using a die grinder with a carbide burr or sanding rolls. Now here is an example of casting flash, and it's simply the leftover material from the casting process when the block was made. Now this is a seasoned block, and it's probably not going to come off, and it's probably not that much of a big deal, but since we're here, we're just going to grind it off and clean up a couple of sharp corners. Now, these points are actually quite sharp where the machine surface meets the casting, and I'm just going to dull them with a die grinder. Now, if you want to get in here and start polishing the interior of the block, you certainly can. It is recommended in the books, but for this project, I'm certainly not doing it. I don't want to cut myself on these sharp edges. The rear main cap, the top of it was actually pretty rough, as you can see over here, so I just went ahead and I just ground it smooth. While I have the die grinder out, I'm going to quickly touch this oil pad area. Now the oil comes in through this passage under pressure, comes to the oil filter pad area. Now from here, the oil, it swirls around, it enters the oil filter, exits the filter, and enters the engine. The rest of the engine is fed through this port right here. Now down here are some sharp machine surfaces, and we're basically just going to port this area to hopefully increase our oil flow. Now my goal here was to smooth over that sharp corner from the oil passage to the filter pad. Now we'll knock out all the freeze plugs on the motor. And we'll do it on both sides of the engine. I took off the caps on these two main journals so you could see the actual journals themselves. They're fairly dark, and that's because they are covered in rust. Now with the cylinders, we had pretty good luck with the cylinder hone, so I went ahead and I bought a smaller hone to try to clean up these journals. I don't know if it's a good idea. We're going to try to take off the absolute minimum amount of material until we get a clean surface, but I thought I'd try this as opposed to using sandpaper. That's typically recommended. So here's the difference after that super quick pass. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the main caps on and do them one at a time. Now before final cleaning, I'm going to chase all the threaded holes with the appropriate tap, and then we'll be ready to clean our block.